The new chairman of the FCC is Brendan Carr. Chairman Carr, thank you very much for being here. It's good to have you with us.
Yeah, good to be with you. Thanks.
So one of the questions that comes to my mind when I watch that piece that was cut out, and the complaint that the FCC has brought is called a news distortion complaint, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, this is an example, I think, where President Trump has been ahead of the curve. He's been ahead of it on a lot of things. He came out early and said, this thing looks like it's been pretty chopped up. And now we've been transparent with the American public. But stepping back, you know, as you indicate, I've been chair for 3 weeks, and it's been quite a difference in D.C. You know, President Trump is delivering right away, as we see on the border. We're driving down the cost of living. And he's been right on these media bias issues. And one thing that he gets that I think most people don't is there's a difference between cable programs like the one we're on right now on Fox News and broadcast TV like CBS, like ABC, like NBC. And to your point, this news distortion rule applies only to broadcast, not to cable. Why? Because broadcasts have access to a public resource, the airwaves. They were given it for free originally. It's worth billions and billions of dollars today. And so they're differently situated than cable or from other speakers. And at the FCC for years, we sort of walked away from our obligation to enforce the public interest standard on broadcasters. And hopefully over these first couple of weeks, people see that this is an FCC that is going to hold broadcasters accountable to their public interest obligations. Yeah,
so the news distortion, when I look at that soundbite, what comes to my mind is the fact that the border was the #1 issue in the election. It's what most voters said they cared about. The economy and the border were really the two top issues. Is CBS breaking any rules by not including something that was one of the top issues for Americans in the interview in and of itself?
Well, this is now a live issue before the FCC that we are going to be taking a look at. We did two things this week. One, we put the transcript out there for everybody to see. We're being transparent so that everybody can comment. There's a docket now at the FCC. People can weigh in. We'll make the judgment. When you look across other broadcasters, there's issues too. We reinstituted a complaint against NBC. If you look at Comcast, Brian Roberts there snuck on Kamala Harris to SNL at the last minute right before the election, and we reopened an investigation into that as well.
So why, I know you mentioned that J.D. Vance's interview and transcript were put out right away. And we all, you know, who've watched 60 Minutes over the years, and they've added this 60 Minutes Plus, I think it's called, or Overtime or something, where after the interview airs, you can watch the whole unedited thing. But they didn't do that in this case, a month before the election. Is that a potential violation? And why did they do that?
Well, there's been some red flags along the way with CBS's conduct. As you noted with Vice President Vance, they provided the full unedited transcript immediately. They didn't do it in this circumstance, and so we'll have to see what happens.
So I know you say this is open for public comment, so people can go on the FCC website, I assume, and they can find it and find a place to comment. The president has said that CBS should be terminated and they should lose their license. Do you believe that that is a likely outcome here?
Yeah, that's exactly the question that we're looking at that we've teed up. And finally, I should say real quick, Super Bowl Sunday, that's going to be broadcast. This is going to be the first Super Bowl where I'm chairman of the FCC. So one ask I have, please no wardrobe malfunctions this Sunday. That's my only ask. It would ruin my evening.
That got expensive, and you want to be able to relax and watch the game like everyone else. Brendan Carr, the new FCC chair, we're going to watch this situation very closely. It raises a lot of important issues, and we hope that we're entering a period where we'll see a lot of very fair coverage across our broadcast channels and our cable channels. Thank you very much, sir. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.